My wife falsely accused me in court regarding her child, which landed me behind bars. When my attorney demanded a DNA test proving another man was the real father, and I got released after 6 months, I began planning my payback. Be me, 34-year-old former military. Turned private security contractor after 8 years in Marines. Did 3 combat tours overseas. Switched to private sector for better money. Always wanted to give my family stability. Always been the provider type. Hit the gym 5 days a week since I was 17. Own my house, drive regular cars. Invest my money instead of wasting it on designer crap. Met Olivia when I was 25. Was transitioning out of military at the time. She worked as receptionist at dentist's office. Seemed sweet and down to earth back then. Came from middle-class family. Had some college debt I helped pay off. Appeared to have normal, reasonable life goals. Boy, was I wrong about everything. You know those movie moments where everything goes slow motion? When characters' whole world falls apart? Yeah, that's not how it happened. Reality hits way harder and way faster. It was a Tuesday. Remember, because Tuesdays were always my longest days. 14-hour executive protection shifts for paranoid tech CEO. Guy thought everyone was out to get him. I'd been wearing a 25-pound tactical vest all day in 95-degree heat. My shoulders were on fire. All I wanted was hot shower and maybe an hour with Lily. Lily's my 4-year-old daughter. Wanted to see her before bedtime. Even stopped at overpriced Thai place Olivia loved. Dropped $75 on her favorite dishes. Pad Thai with extra peanut sauce. Funny how you remember these useless details. She'd been distant for months, barely talking to me. Always on her phone, but I was still trying to make things work. Military taught me never to give up, right? Walk through door at 8:45 p.m. There's Olivia. Sprawled on our $3,000 leather couch that I paid for. Scrolling through Instagram like it's her full-time job. Doesn't even look up when I put Thai food on coffee table. I want a divorce. Just like that. 4 words. Didn't even put her phone down. 7 years together. 5 years married. A daughter we both adored. Or so I thought. She couldn't even give me basic respect of eye contact. While destroying our family, I stood there like an idiot. Still in tactical pants and company polo. Thai food getting cold on table. What? You heard me! Still scrolling. I've already talked to a lawyer. Here's what's going to happen. Then she finally looks up. I see this expression like she's enjoying this. Lists off demands like she's ordering at Starbucks. The house, the one I bought with military savings. The Audi that I paid for. Primary custody of Lily. $3,400 a month in child support. Keep in mind I was already paying $2,600 mortgage. Both car payments, $620 for her Audi, $340 for my Toyota. Lily's private preschool, $1,500 per month. Ballet classes, $180 per month. All utilities, all groceries. Her gym membership, $165 per month for some fancy women's-only place. Her self-care expenses, weekly manicures, monthly massages, hair appointments costing more than my car payment. You're basically asking for everything, I said, trying to keep voice level. 8 years of military discipline helps keep your cool. Even when your world's imploding, she just shrugged. Finally putting phone down. That's what my lawyer says I can get. Oh, and I want to adjust custody schedule. Every other weekend for you should be enough. Every other weekend? I lost it there. Not violently, never been that guy, but couldn't hold back anymore. Are you kidding me? I'm the one who takes her to school every morning? I'm the one who stays up with her when she's sick. I'm the one who taught her to swim. Who reads her stories? Who takes her to the park every weekend while you're at yoga class? Olivia just picked phone back up. Completely unbothered. Yeah, well, the courts usually favor the mother. My lawyer says it's pretty standard. That's when I noticed something else. Lily wasn't home. It was 9 p.m. on a Tuesday. Our 4-year-old wasn't in bed. Where's Lily? At my mom's. I figured this conversation might get emotional. She'd planned this whole thing. Probably had script ready for weeks. There I was, still holding stupid Thai food bag, thinking I could fix whatever was wrong in our marriage. I set food down, my appetite completely gone. How long have you been planning this? She gave me a smirk that made my blood boil. Long enough to know what I'm entitled to. Entitled, that word hit me like punch to gut. After everything I'd done, everything I'd sacrificed, she felt entitled to life I'd built. I need some air, I said. Turning to leave, couldn't stand being in same room with her anymore. Don't forget to pick up your things from master bedroom, she called after me. I've moved them to guest room. Spent that night driving around city, trying to make sense of what happened. Phone kept buzzing with texts from Olivia. each one more demanding than last. When will you be back? We need to discuss details. My lawyer wants to meet Monday. Be available. I expect you to be civil about this. Lily doesn't need to see Daddy having meltdown. That last one nearly made me drive car off-road, using Lily as weapon already. That's when I knew this wouldn't be clean break. Next few weeks were blur of lawyer meetings, paperwork everywhere, watching Olivia systematically dismantle life we'd built. She moved into guest room, started going out more than ever. Every time I asked about Lily, always she's at mom's or she's having play date. First meeting with my lawyer Thomas was wake-up call. He'd been recommended by old military buddy who'd gone through similar situation. Look, Thomas said, leafing through initial paperwork Olivia's lawyer sent. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. The demands she's making are excessive but not unheard of. California family courts tend to favor mothers, unless there's clear evidence of unfitness. But I'm the primary caregiver, I insisted. I'm the one who's there for Lily day in and day out. Olivia's barely home 3 nights a week. With all her classes and girls' nights, Thomas sighed, taking off his glasses. Do you have documentation of that? Calendars, text messages, witness statements? I didn't, like an idiot. Never thought I'd need to keep receipts on my own marriage. Start documenting everything now, Thomas advised. Every time she leaves Lily with someone else, every time she breaks commitment, every penny you spend on household, we're going to need all of it. Meanwhile, Olivia was painting very different picture. For anyone who would listen, according to her, I was controlling military type, who never gave her freedom, and used money to keep her dependent. The absolute opposite of reality. But her friends ate it up. Even some mutual friends started looking at me differently. The first custody exchange after temporary schedule, man, that's burned into my memory forever. Olivia pulls up in my Audi. Still can't believe I was paying for that thing. Wearing $230 Lululemon leggings, some designer workout top. Lily runs to me second she sees me. Hadn't been allowed to see her for almost 2 weeks at that point. Olivia just stands there tapping foot, like we're inconveniencing her. Here's her bag, she says, practically throwing it at me. I've packed her medicine for her allergies. Don't forget to give it to her exactly at 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. And she needs to be in bed by 8:30. No sugar after 6. No screen time after 7. And make sure she does her ballet stretches. I just stared at her. I'd been handling Lily's medicine schedule for past 2 years because Olivia couldn't deal with stress of remembering it. I was one who figured out her allergy triggers, who found right doctor, who set up whole routine. Anything else you want to explain to me about my own daughter? I asked. She just gave me this look, like I was some hired help she had to explain things to. Just make sure she's ready by 6 p.m. on Sunday. I have yoga at 7. That yoga class she was always running off to. Yeah, we'll get to that later. Weekends with Lily were both heaven and hell. Heaven because I got to be with my little girl. Hell because I knew they were numbered. Every moment felt precious and terrifying at the same time. We'd build pillow forts in my new apartment. A depressing 1-bedroom that cost way too much. Because I needed to stay in Lily's school district. We'd bake cookies, watch Disney movies, go to park, trying to pack whole week's worth of love and attention into 48 hours. Lily would ask about my day. Tell me about her friends at school. Show me new ballet moves she was learning. She seemed okay on surface, but I could tell something was off. She was quieter than usual. Clengie. Would wake up in middle of night asking if I was still there. Daddy, why don't I see you every day anymore? Lily asked one night. As I was tucking her in, broke my heart. What do you tell a 4-year-old? That mommy's turned into someone we don't recognize? That daddy's trying his best, but system's rigged? Sometimes grown-ups need to live in different houses, I said, trying to keep voice steady. But I love you more than anything in whole world. You know that, right? She nodded, hugging her stuffed elephant, the one I got her when she was born. I love you too, Daddy. Can you read me another story? I read her 3 more stories that night. Would have read 100 if she'd asked. The drop-offs were always worst. Lily would cling to me, crying, begging to stay longer. Olivia would stand there checking watch, acting like we were causing huge inconvenience. She does this every time, Olivia would say, rolling her eyes. You're making it worse by dragging it out? Just go already. I started noticing changes in Lily after she'd been with Olivia. She'd come back with expensive new toys, but wearing same clothes I'd sent her in. Now dirty or stained. Her hair would be tangled, like no one had bothered to brush it. She'd be exhausted, cranky from lack of sleep. When I brought it up at next court date, Olivia's lawyer smoothly interjected, Your Honor, Mr. Clark is clearly trying to weaponize normal childhood behaviors against my client. Children get dirty, they play hard. Ms. Clark is providing excellent care while also trying to rebuild her life. After years of being financially controlled, the judge nodded sympathetically at Olivia, who had magically produced tears right on cue. I was learning fast that perception meant everything in family court, and Olivia was master at manipulating perceptions. Each court appearance chipped away more of my rights. Temporary custody arrangement became semi-permanent. My child support payments increased. Olivia's demands grew more outlandish. She needed more money for Lily's activities that I was never informed about, for educational supplies I never saw, for medical expenses. Despite Lily being on my insurance, through it all I kept showing up, kept fighting, kept trying to be dad Lily deserved, even as systems seemed determined to reduce me to nothing more than paycheck. While all this was going down, I was still trying to keep career together. Executive protection isn't like regular security work. You can't check out mentally. One mistake and someone could get hurt. Or worse, I was pulling 60 to 70-hour weeks, trying to bank extra money, because I knew Olivia's demands would clean me out. Schedule was brutal. 5 a.m. wake up. Hit the gym, couldn't let myself get soft. 6:30 a.m. get ready for work. 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. executive protection shifts. 9:30 p.m. try to FaceTime Lily before bed, when Olivia would allow it. 10 p.m. meal prep. Try to sleep. Fail. End up doing push-ups until exhaustion. Lack of sleep was getting to me. Catch myself zoning out during client briefings, missing details I never would have missed before. The divorce was consuming my thoughts, eating away at my focus. My boss, Garrett, was old military buddy, who'd given me start in private sector. He pulled me aside one day, after I nearly dozed off during client briefing. "Brother, what's going on with you?" he asked. "Clients are starting to notice you're not yourself." I told him everything. The divorce, the custody battle, Olivia's demands, all of it. Garrett listened, that old sergeant's patience showing. "Look," he said finally, "you know I've got your back. But in our line of work, we can't afford distractions. These clients trust us with their lives. Take some time, get your head straight." He offered 2 weeks of paid leave, more than generous in our industry. I spent it trying to get life in order, meeting with Thomas, organizing finances, trying to build case for more custody. When I returned to work, thought I had it under control. I was wrong. 3 weeks after coming back, I was assigned to high-profile client, tech billionaire who'd received death threats. Standard protective detail, something I could have handled in my sleep before all this. We were at restaurant, client seated with back to wall as protocol dictated. I was scanning room, doing all right things on autopilot. Then my phone buzzed. Olivia sending photo of Lily at hospital. No context, no explanation, just my little girl looking scared. "Hooked up to monitoring equipment," I texted back. "What happened? Is she okay? Which hospital?" No response. Called, straight to voicemail. Called her mother, no answer. I was freaking out, trying to maintain professional composure, while insides were being shredded. Then caught movement from corner of eye. Someone approaching our table too fast, hand reaching inside jacket. In any other circumstance, my training would have kicked in automatically, would have stepped between threat and client. Neutralized situation. Instead, I hesitated, just for split second. But in our line of work, that's all it takes. Turned out guy was just fan wanting autograph. Pulling out notebook, not weapon. Crisis averted. But client noticed delay. So did team lead. Later that night, after confirming Lily was fine, it was just routine checkup. Olivia's way of screwing with me. I got call from Garrett. "This isn't working, man, I'm sorry." 2 months later, I'm called into office. 2 clients had complained about lack of focus. 15 years perfect service. 8 in Marines. 7 in private security. And just like that, I'm out. Severance was decent. But with Olivia's demands and legal fees piling up, it wouldn't last long. "Is there anything I can do?" I asked Garrett, hating how desperate I sounded. He looked genuinely sorry. "Not right now. Get personal life sorted, then we can talk. This industry is small. People remember both good and bad." I cleared out desk. While now former colleagues awkwardly avoided eye contact. 15 years exemplary service, multiple commendations. Spotless record, all wiped out. Because Olivia couldn't be bothered to send follow-up text about our daughter being in hospital. When I confronted her about it later, she just shrugged. "I thought you should know she was at doctor." "Not my fault you overreacted." "I lost my job because of that stunt," I told her, trying to keep voice down. Because Lily was in next room, Olivia actually smiled. Well, that should make for interesting conversation in court. When you try to explain why you can't afford child support anymore, that's when I realized she'd done it deliberately. She wanted me to lose job, wanted me to fail, because then she could paint me as deadbeat dad, who couldn't keep it together, couldn't provide for his kid. It was all part of her plan. Job market for specialized security work is weird. Either you're in or you're out. Word travels fast. Few of my old contacts tried to help, but nobody wants to take chance on guy going through messy divorce. Started applying for everything. Mall security, night watchman, bouncer. Anything to keep money coming in? Most places wouldn't touch me. Overqualified was common response. What they meant was too expensive or flight risk. Once something better comes along, finally landed gig doing overnight security. At storage facility, minimum wage, no benefits. Graveyard shift. Far cry from executive protection. But it was something. Schedule was brutal in different way. Working nights meant barely saw daylight. Barely slept. Few weekend days I had with Lily. I was zombie, forcing myself to stay awake and present for her. 4 months of nothing but rejection, and watching savings drain away. Thomas, my lawyer, started making noises about his fees. Apartment complex sent notices about late rent. Child support payments kept coming due. No matter how empty bank account was. First time I missed child support payment, Olivia blew up my phone with texts. "Where's my money?" I knew you'd turn out to be deadbeat. "Hope you enjoy jail. Lily deserves better than you." Each message felt like knife. I'd never missed payment for anything in my life. Had perfect credit score. Always paid bills early. Now I was guy who couldn't provide for his kid. I went to court to explain situation. Ask for temporary reduction until I could get back on feet. Brought all my job applications, rejection letters, bank statements showing I was nearly wiped out. Olivia showed up in another designer outfit, her lawyer looking smug next to her. "Your Honor," her lawyer started. "What we have here is classic case of voluntary unemployment. Mr. Clark deliberately took lower paying position to avoid his obligations to his child. He's working beneath his qualifications by choice." Judge looked at me skeptically. "Is that true, Mr. Clark?" I tried to explain about job loss, about industry blacklisting, about applying for everything I could find, but it all sounded like excuses, even to my own ears. "The child support order stands," Judge ruled. "If you fall into arrears, there will be consequences." Consequences, right? I picked up second job, stocking shelves at grocery store during day, before heading to storage facility at night. 4 hours of sleep became norm. My health started to suffer. Lost weight, dark circles under eyes, constant fatigue. Lily noticed during one of our weekends. She touched my face, concerned. "Daddy, are you sick?" I forced smile. "Just a little tired, sweetheart." "Daddy's working a lot right now." "Is it because of money Mommy says you owe her?" "She told Grandma you're not paying for my ballet classes anymore." That hurt worse than anything. Olivia using Lily as pawn, making her worry about adult problems. I made sure never to speak ill of Olivia in front of Lily. But she had no such reservations about poisoning our daughter against me. 2 more missed payments. Warnings from court got more serious. I sold my car, sold my watch, sold anything of value just to catch up. Started surviving on ramen and peanut butter sandwiches. Picked up odd jobs on days off. Mowing lawns, painting houses, whatever paid cash. Then came that morning. 8 a.m., loud pounding on apartment door. I was already up, actually. Old military habits die hard. Even when you're depressed. 2 cops standing there, looking uncomfortable. "Sir, we have warrant for your arrest." For failure to pay child support? Younger cop clearly didn't want to be there. Maybe he'd heard about my military service. Small town, word gets around. Older one just looked tired, like he'd done this too many times. They were professional about it, at least. Let me change into proper clothes. Didn't make scene, but walking out of apartment building in handcuffs? That hits different. Holding cell was everything you'd expect. Cold, smelly, depressing. But worst part, sitting there thinking about Lily. What would Olivia tell her? That Daddy's criminal? That he didn't love her enough to pay? I tried calling Thomas from jail phone, but his secretary said he couldn't represent me anymore, due to outstanding legal bills. Perfect. Public defender they assigned me looked about 12. Had caseload that would break seasoned attorney. He barely glanced at my file before court appearance. "Just tell judge you'll pay," he advised. During our 5-minute consultation, that's all they want to hear. "With what money?" I asked. "I'm already working 2 jobs. I've sold everything I own." He shrugged, already looking past me to next case. Figure it out or you'll be back here in a month. Judge was unimpressed with my situation. Mr. Clark, court doesn't care how you meet your obligations. Only that you do. Your child deserves support. I wanted to scream about all ways I'd supported Lily. That had nothing to do with money. About bedtime stories, swimming lessons, doctor visits, about how Olivia was using system to destroy me, while pretending it was all about Lily's welfare. Instead, I just nodded and promised to pay. 3 days in county jail, before former military buddy found out, and posted my bail. 3 days of missing work, and therefore not getting paid, of missing scheduled weekend with Lily, of sinking even lower than thought possible. County jail gives you a lot of time to think. I kept to myself, did push-ups in cell, tried to maintain some kind of routine. Other guys mostly left me alone. Maybe they could tell I wasn't usual type they got in there. When I got out, stack of mail waiting at apartment, bills mostly, and thick envelope with no return address. Then came letter from Nathan. Nathan was my old teammate from security company, one of few guys I truly trusted. Letter was thick. As soon as I started reading, I understood why. Brother, I've been carrying this for too long. You deserve to know truth. Nathan laid it all out. He'd been doing security for high-end hotel events. Had seen Olivia there multiple times with her yoga instructor, guy named Ethan, but they weren't doing yoga. First time I saw them, I thought I was mistaken. But then it kept happening. Different hotels, different events. But always them, always looking too close to be just friends. I took photos, kept log of dates and times. I know this is going to hurt, but there's more. Next part of letter made me physically sick. Timeline doesn't add up. Olivia was seeing Ethan before Lily was born. Way before. I've got security footage timestamps that prove it. I've been sitting on this info for years, man. When you guys seemed happy, couldn't bring myself to wreck your family. But now that she's putting you through hell, you deserve to know what you're fighting for. Inside envelope were dozens of photos. Olivia and Ethan at hotels, restaurants, shopping together. Some dated from before our wedding. Some from when she was pregnant. Some from just weeks ago, sitting in my crappy apartment. Looking at those photos, everything started making sense. All those late-night yoga classes, weird work schedules she claimed Ethan had, way she'd get defensive if I ever suggested joining one of her classes. And Lily. God, Lily. I stared at her photo on nightstand, really looking at her features. For first time with this new knowledge. Her blue eyes. Mine are brown. Her hair color lighter than mine or Olivia's. Way she smiled. Always thought she got that from my mom. Had I been willfully blind all these years? Had I seen what I wanted to see? Because I loved that little girl so damn much. I called Nathan immediately, my hands shaking so bad I could barely dial. Why now? I asked when he picked up. Why not when it could have saved me all this hell? Nathan sounded genuinely remorseful. I thought about it every day, man. But you seemed happy. You loved that kid so much. I couldn't be one to destroy that. Then when divorce happened, I figured you guys had your reasons. That maybe things had just run their course naturally. So what changed? I saw Olivia and Ethan at another event last week. Overheard them laughing about you, about how they were taking you for everything. That's when I knew I couldn't keep quiet anymore. I sat with this information whole day, trying to process it. Part of me wanted to confront Olivia immediately, to scream and rage at her. For years of lies, but Marine in me, the tactician, knew better. This was ammunition, possibly only kind that could help me. In this war she'd started. I went to storage facility that night, worked my shift in days. When morning came, instead of going home to sleep, I went to different lawyer's office. One recommended by Nathan, who specialized in paternity fraud. Second, I got out of jail. I contacted new lawyer. Showed him Nathan's letter. The photos. Everything. He didn't sugarcoat it. This is going to get ugly, he said. But if what your friend documented is true, we can probably get child support orders thrown out. First thing we need is DNA test. Getting test ordered wasn't easy. Olivia fought hard. Claimed I was just trying to avoid responsibilities. But judge looked at Nathan's evidence and approved it. 2 weeks waiting for results were longest of my life. I spent hours staring at photos of Lily, looking for, I don't know what, signs, clues. Some hint that I should have seen. I didn't sleep much during those weeks. Results came in plain white envelope. Medical terminology, lots of numbers, but only one that mattered. 0.00% probability of paternity. I didn't cry. Didn't yell. Didn't do anything for about an hour. Just sat there holding that paper, feeling like someone had ripped heart out. When I finally could move again, I called my lawyer. His tone changed immediately when I told him results. "This changes everything," he said. "We're going to file to vacate all child support orders. And if she's been collecting from biological father too, we're looking at fraud charges." Lawyer called later that day. "We did some digging. She's been collecting child support from Ethan too. Double-dipping whole time. This is fraud, clear and simple." Next few weeks were whirlwind of legal activity. Subpoenas flying, bank records being pulled, Olivia's carefully constructed house of cards beginning to collapse. Through it all, I couldn't stop thinking about Lily. Biologically, she wasn't mine, but in every way that mattered, every bedtime story, every scraped knee, every middle-of-night comfort. She was my daughter. Thought of never seeing her again was unbearable. "What about custody?" I asked my lawyer during one of our meetings. He gave sympathetic but realistic look. "Legally, you have no standing now that paternity has been disproven. But given circumstances, the fraud, potential criminal charges, we might be able to make case for some kind of visitation. Based on established relationship. It's long shot, though. Long shot or not. I had to try. Lily was only thing in this whole mess worth fighting for. Court day was surreal. Olivia showed up in designer dress, probably cost more than my monthly rent, fresh from some expensive salon appointment. Her lawyer tried spinning story about her being confused about paternity, claiming she truly believed I was Lily's father. Then my lawyer started laying out evidence. Bank statements showing child support deposits from both me and Ethan. Hotel receipts going back years. Security footage from multiple locations. Text messages between Olivia and Ethan discussing their plan. Medical records showing she knew about paternity all along. Judge's face got darker with each piece of evidence. By end, he wasn't even trying to hide disgust. "Mrs. Clark, what you've done here goes beyond simple fraud. You've intentionally deceived two men, manipulated court system, and most importantly, used innocent child as pawn in your scheme. This court takes very dim view of such actions." Then came most satisfying moment of entire ordeal. Judge looked directly at Olivia. His expression harder than I'd seen in all previous appearances. "Court finds clear and convincing evidence of fraud. All child support orders are hereby vacated. Mr. Clark is entitled to restitution for all payments made plus interest. Furthermore, I am referring this case to District Attorney's Office." For criminal prosecution, Olivia's face went white. This wasn't how her script was supposed to play out. She'd been so certain of victory, so confident in ability to manipulate system, that she hadn't prepared for this outcome. "But Your Honor," her lawyer stammered, "my client is primary caregiver for young child. Surely you wouldn't—" "Counsel," Judge interrupted. "Your client has committed fraud against this court, and against two individuals. Fact that she has child doesn't grant her immunity from consequences of her actions." Olivia was arrested right there in courtroom. The schadenfreude was so intense, I could practically taste it. 3 years for fraud. But here's where karma really kicked in. During booking, they found her designer purse, stuffed with illegal pills. Not just few, but enough to add intent to distribute charges. That 3-year sentence turned into 7 real quick. Best part. Ethan disappeared to Mexico. When child support orders came down, apparently he had own legal issues we didn't know about. 2 weeks ago, I got call from Olivia's sister. Olivia's found God in prison. Wants to apologize. Wants my help getting sentence reduced. Claims she's changed woman, who sees error of her ways. You know what I told her sister? "New phone, who this?" As for Lily, her situation initially broke my heart. With her mom in prison and biological dad in wind, she was headed for foster care. Despite not being her biological father, I petitioned court for custody based on established relationship with her, and fact that I was only stable parent figure she'd ever known. It was uphill battle. System isn't designed for situations like ours. But sometimes, just sometimes, right thing prevails. Lily's living with me now, full custody. Since both biological parents are out of picture, it's not easy explaining to a 4-year-old why mommy's gone. But we're making it work. I've got new job, managing security for major hotel chain. Better hours, better pay. Home every night. The best revenge. Lily's thriving. Her teachers say she's happier than ever. She's making friends, doing great in her activities, actually sleeping through night now, something that never happened when Olivia was around. And Olivia, last I heard, prison food isn't quite up to her usual standards. Guess karma really is ultimate gold digger.